Exactly. You know that's going in the bloopers reel.
Yo, man.
Finger exercise. Yes, here we go.
20 plus years and the first thing you do is this. No, what's up, man?
It's better than.
Go for it, man. At this point, you are allowed to hit me, man. That's fine.
There you go.
You know. No, but yeah, man. So what's up, bro?
You know what? 20 plus years, 10 years of the restaurant.
Plus years and 10 years.
Oh shit.
Oh, you gotta, yeah, man. You gotta talk.
Saying our names.
Yeah, right. My name is Diego Aim.
My name is Alex Cook. And we are the
Two Happy Buddhas.
Happy Buddhas.
Alright, so hey, what's up?
Oh,
So we're going to talk about the past and the beginning. Where did you guys meet? First impressions of each other?
Where we meet? Where do we meet?
Yeah.
FIU. I'll always remember Diego was taking an eggplant and trying to make a garnish. And he was carefully peeling the skin to fry it. And I had just figured out what a citrus zester was. And I was like, I got this. You can take a citrus zester. Come on, we'll show you. Peel it, of course. It's an eggplant, not a citrus, so it's soft. And I'm struggling, and I've got 4 people looking at me, Diego being one of them. And I'm like, yeah. Okay, well, you carry out with what you were doing. That was great what you do. Forget my idea.
He wanted to be that guy that drops the bomb and walks away without looking back. Yeah, that didn't work out for you, did it?
No, I did. I think he said, like, he was like, everyone was like, who's that asshole?
I'm not gonna lie. You walked away and we all said, who the hell is this guy? And then when we sat down with, Chef Moran, Chef goes, hey guys, how are you guys doing? So this is Alex Cook. He's my TA. He'll be taking care of all the all the scores and all the stuff. I'm like, oh shit, we gotta suck up to this guy.
That was at FIU. What? That was
2006, I think. 2006.
So we're going almost 20 years. Yeah, it's 2004.
Oh man, 22 plus.
Yeah.
22 plus. Damn. Yeah, we old now. What?
Yeah, we've been through. If you look at our old pictures, Diego brought up our old pictures. You definitely see I think back then we could just roll out of bed, we can late night, 12 o'clock, still go to Lester's, have a bite to eat, and then 9 o'clock the next morning, 9:30, roll back out of bed, get there, and now we're like, did you sleep okay last night? Like, man, my back hurts.
This hurts, that hurts, everything hurts. But yeah, man, so.
What was your first impression? What was your first memory of this now?
Of you?
No, not me.
Come on, Ian.
This is not Tinder. This is. What's your first impression of the restaurant?
First impression of the restaurant? Bro, we had no idea what the hell we were doing. I mean, when it comes to the business side of things, but it was exciting. Right? We were kind of nervous. We're like, what the hell, man? Like, are we really going through with this?
Right.
And stuff like that.
One of my first things was, I remember we were at the Architects and we were just sitting there looking on the computer at the line. And he's like, okay, do you want the wok here, the fryer here? And literally we're just thinking okay, we have to move from here to here. I think that's one of my first memories right now of the restaurant, the entire process.
I mean, for me, it's more the first time that we were interviewing somebody.
Oh.
And that was Bruna.
Oh.
It was in the dark. No. We were shady as hell. There was no lights and stuff like that. And we're sitting there and we're like, so you want to come to work with us? We don't have that much money, but, and she actually said yes. I'm like, full day. So that was for me, that moment that it hit, where it says, yo, man, we're doing this.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
What was came up with the concept?
Who came up with the concept?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little bit between both of us. The way that we look at each other is that we always kind of like, we lean towards your Mr. Hospitality, right here, front of the house type of admin and stuff like that, where I was more like the, back of the house, kitchen type of guy. Kind of, you said when we met the architects and all that stuff. Now I know that you felt that way, because for me, I was like, all right, I felt more comfortable. Just knowing the equipments go here, this goes there and that when it comes to the kitchen side. But yeah, I mean, yeah, dude.
I think that, wait, what was the question again? Still getting old.
Original concept for Temple.
Original concept for Temple Street, we looked at, we were at one point we worked at my aunt's and uncle's restaurant, and we were like, this is way too much prep, for a restaurant, and it needed to be a little simpler in prep wise, not as demanding with prep and labor, and not full service, because we saw back then that full service, the quick service would be a lot more easier. So it's a little more less stressful of an operation. That was the goal. But it had to be food that, we wanted to eat our day off.
Right.
Like when we used to, have more free time, like, hey, where do I go? Okay, it's either Korean food, Japanese food, Vietnamese food, Chinese food, and when we went to those places, these are dishes that we would order bulgogi. We would order wonton noodle soup,
right?
A bun rice noodle back then, and these are dishes that we wanted to eat our days off. It was really comfort food to us being Asian Americans. So that was really the driving force. And then, you get creative. This guy doesn't drink really.
I don't really think that we even thought that, what our concept as Asian American meant.
No,
I think it was just more kind of like just, we like to eat this, so we're gonna make this.
Right. Right.
And we know it was for me, like, honestly, I think that even when we started putting the name and we put Asian American comfort food, I was like, what the heck is Asian American comfort food, right?
Right.
And we weren't able to define or try to explain it to people until later on.
Yeah, at first we used to just throw our motto out there was since we were, Temple Street, our logo was a Buddha, we were there to enlighten your palate. To the ching.
We thought it was cool. That bro, we try to make that work so hard. We try to make it enlighten your palate a thing. Just like Nike, just do it.
Right, exactly.
Your palate. I'm like, bro, ain't nobody using that crap. Nobody ever used that. We ain't enlightening nobody.
Well, let's take a step back. I mean, the restaurant almost didn't open because the original name of the restaurant was going to be Fat Buddha. And we found out someone got the copyrights to the name Buddha in every category international. So we couldn't use anything with Buddha. And literally, between all of us, for a week, we couldn't find a name. Oh, hey, let's look at this up. Look, Google. Restaurants in California. Okay, I got it. It's in Philadelphia. The restaurant. Okay, and we literally went back and forth for a week. We couldn't find a name.
I don't know why we wanted to go with the Buddha in the first place. Like, it was always about Buddha this, Buddha that, and I was kind of like, what? But yeah, man, I mean, that French guy was pretty...
Yeah. But then we finally sat there and we're both from Hong Kong descent. And we're like, okay, when we go back to Hong Kong, where do we go eat? And we're like,
we both actually said Miu Kai, first place, Miu Kai. Both of us said it like that, and we're like, holy crap. And then we actually tried to call it Miu Kai, but then they were saying it's too exotic, because it's too Chinese at the time, and people probably wouldn't have connected to it. So Temple Street. But then as we opened Temple Street, what happened? People thought we were a Jewish deli. Remember? Somebody thought that we were a coffee shop. They, what is this temple this? And, it was funny to explain that. But those were early days, man. Those were good days, just to kind of like trying to figure ourselves out and stuff like that.
Then they order matzo ball. Can I get my matzo ball?
Right.
Where's my matzo?
But I mean, the concept itself is true. Like, you kind of what you said, man. They say what we were trying to eat and what we wanted to introduce to our guests here at the time. there wasn't a ramen shop over here.
There wasn't any.
There wasn't. There was that. There was that one. Was that one?
Where?
The one that we went to in Brickell.
Oh, them.
That one.
Yeah. Served like first person served like $19 for a bowl of ramen.
Yeah, there was that. There was that. But just thinking about ramen noodles and stuff like that, and not actually calling it ramen. I don't know if still, you know, if that's like a good thing or a bad thing since we call it noodle soups, right? But you know, it's only the details, honestly, of like when we were talking about the concept and what we were trying to do. But that's how it started, like global Asian street food, to now what people coined it themselves, Chino Latino or whatever it is that we are.
Yeah.
So it's no longer lighting your palate?
That's faded. That's seasoned.
Hey man, enlighten your palate, guys. You know, maybe we'll never come back, maybe one day.
I mean, if you say lighten your palate with a Chino Latino like slang, maybe it'll work.
Oh, you want us to develop an accent?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Me gusta.
There you go. You know, one person's mouth is moving like the old kung fu movies.
Yeah.
But in these 10 years of being open, what's your favorite memories? Our favorite memory, keep going.
Okay, you want to go first?
My favorite memory, I think, has to be definitely all the parties we've thrown. We were known for 3 parties every year. First was Chinese New Year, which of course aside here, you know, with the line dance and everything. Then it was followed, if I go in chronological order, then it was Cinco de Mayo, because of course we were Chino Latino and who else?
No, but we weren't going. It was so weird. Though.
It was weird.
We didn't even think about Chino Latino.
We did not, and I don't know why we picked up Cinco de Mayo. You know, I think someone's like, "Oh, you have a quesadilla, great."
Oh yeah,
just up on the back.
I'm petty as fuck. Sorry, I hope I can use those words in our videos. I mean, it's my right.
Yeah.
But I'm petty as hell. I'm like, yo, why only Mexican restaurant can do Cinco de Mayo? I told you that. I was like, and at the time, I'm like, yo, there's only one restaurant doing the Cinco de Mayo part. I'm like, yo, let's do it, man. So yes, for me that would be one of the favorite, memories is actually the first year and the second year, because I did not expect that to blow up the way that it did.
And I mean, that was fun.
That was crazy. So Cinco de Mayo, I mean, nowadays we no longer do it just because there's way too many taquerias close by us that are doing it. So hey man, maybe we'll bring it back later.
Yep. And the third would definitely be our anniversary party, which is coming up. You know, so for me, those 3 are every year's most memorable, awesome experiences.
Just being able to make an experience for our guests, that's kind of like the best memories that we can create, right?
What about for you?
Yeah, man, echoing to the same ones that you're talking about, all the events that we're doing, just trying to connect with everybody that just kind of like come into the restaurant and just hearing them out, and then they're like, yo man, you speak Spanish? What the hell? You know, like the many times that never gets old, you know, hiding my Latino card. You know, talk shit, go ahead, talk shit.
Exactly.
Go for it, bro.
That's the best.
Yeah, let's right into the next one. It's like, advice would you give being 10 years down the road, what advice would you give your younger selves?
Yeah, man, I mean, stay true to yourself. Be authentic to yourself, I would say. Definitely. Because I mean, this is who we are. We joke, we talk trash, we make food, right? We don't really hide that to many people. But when you and me get mad in the restaurant, like talking while service is going around and customers say, I mean, this is really who we are.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So staying authentic to ourselves, you know, I think is very important, because like for me, like in the beginning, even though we didn't know, like I said, like Asian American comfort food or all this stuff or what we were doing, like we didn't know how to express ourselves, like subliminally. I feel like, hey man, fast forward now, I'm like, yo man, we've been doing this type of stuff and trying to echo our mission statement was already there, even though we didn't know how to say it to ourselves.
Right.
So, and now, man, I think I owe it to just being who I am or being who you are, right?
Absolutely. I think that, the advice for ourselves 10 years ago was just to, there's gonna be a lot of noise, and you can take some of it, listen to it, but a lot of it you're just gonna have to just, let it go. And in one ear, out the other, just be like, okay, our ice cream is too cold for you. I am so sorry. So, and
You
there's
don't like that we're playing Pitbull?
right,
The hell?
right, exactly. And those are all true, not made up reviews that we've had. But I think it's really to filter out and know that there's some great people out there. There's some great connections out there. We will harbor those, and those that you see that are, not worth it, just keep on moving.
Okay.
So, attitude-wise, when you guys first started off, you were both single, young. Now you're married, kids.
And old. Is that what you're trying to say? Matured.
What's the difference? Like, what do you do differently now that you didn't do, or what do you used to do in the past that you don't do now?
I don't eat hot sauce at night anymore. And we're not cut.
I mean, I stopped eating really spicy after COVID, bro. That's another story in itself.
Oh yeah, that was interesting.
But I mean, I'll start that one. I definitely seen a big change in myself of who I was before. I'm a hothead. I used to react so fast at everything. I think the early years, the way that I was acting, or how the pressure that we had on ourselves was definitely tremendous. But at the same time, I felt like somebody had to be like that person that had to put their foot down. So I mean, again, how did this partnership work out so well? It's definitely like that whole good cop, bad cop type of situation. But as the years progressed, like you said, now having families and stuff like that, I'm kind of more mellowed out. Obviously, the experience, knowing how to handle those situations is a lot easier now. But definitely seeing that big change, But yeah, no, last when I started, not too proud of it, but with some of the stuff.
I think that we were all, like you said, the pressure was there to really figure out on the fly, because we had no one to go, hi, what do we do with the situation? Hi, how do we, what's the best way to do this? Hi, what's, and it was really, people try to offer advice, but then it was a very unique situation, because the people that we knew, like, family, for example, they knew how to run a restaurant in their system, but they really didn't understand this restaurant that we're trying to build, our system, the way we were trying to build, and run the ship. So there was really no one to go. We've now, I feel, after 10 years, have been an example for some other people in the industry around. Because you walk into their restaurant, it's like, our restaurant, your restaurant, sort of mirror, and then they go, hey, how you doing? I've been to your restaurant. I'm like, no, really? And you don't say, and so I think I feel that we've, been able to be an example to some of the newer, restaurants around town. But we didn't have that to really, Google someone to say, hey, what could we do with this? So we have to really figure out on our own, a lot of late night conversations after. But I think now we've gotten a lot better with just communications, with operations, of course, thank God, with being a little more, resourceful and wise in the decisions we're making.
I mean, I think like after 10 years, we don't have our operations down.
Right.
Yeah, we wouldn't be sitting here right now, chatting it up and stuff. So yeah, man, if there's one thing that is super proud about, that is that we've been able to kind of like overcome those obstacles and set ourselves up like where we're at, and yeah, man, to see where we're gonna go next.
And to be honest, I think that we've, correct me if I'm wrong, I think in the last 10 years, I think the team that we have now, not to knock the team that we had, but the team that we have now has really been a great. All those people have helped us learn how to really build up to the team that we have now, and they're doing a great job. That's an awesome team that we have.
I mean, I think every single team brought a different flavor, you know, and definitely brought a lot of learning and a lot of like growth for us. I mean, we always been what we try to say as fair as we can.
Yep.
In the sense of saying like, hey man, whoever wants to be a part of this, you know, you just gotta put your sweat, you know,
There's
into
opportunity.
it. The opportunities in there, and yeah, look into it. Like, yeah, back then it was like I said, I'm a petty person, so I'm like, oh yeah, you found a better job? Well, screw you then, you know. And then, and I'm like, oh, we can't give me this. Oh well, too bad, right? And then next year, you know, I'm like, nah, man. I mean, you went through our learning, and you know, you learned your stuff. I hope they were able to take, you know, positives into it, and you know, some people actually came back and talked to us before that, yo, man, thank you for, you know, doing this or showing me the way to do it like this and that, and I'm like, oh snap, I wasn't even. I mean, for me, I wasn't even. We were just doing it.
Right.
We weren't realizing what positive or negative we were getting. But yeah, I mean, now it's more kind of like, I think our new group, because of going through all those tribulations, like we're able to coach a little bit better. And I do think that moving forward, and just like always, you know, it's, you know, about looking to the future. It's not just about you and me anymore.
Absolutely.
It's getting bigger.
Yep. Absolutely.
So, being that you guys didn't want a Buddha name, but now you're Two Happy Buddhas, what's the difference? What's the difference between Two Happy Buddhas and Temple Street?
What is the difference? Temple Street is what we created as a brand for a concept for a restaurant. Two Happy Buddha, it's more about who we are and what we want to grow. How do I say, like, Temple Street is, you know, gonna be a restaurant related, it's very food related, right? It's hospitality like that, but we're, I think, we want to kind of like see a little more than just as a restaurateur. We want to try to help our community in a way to talk a little bit more about our cultures, you know, especially the Asian community here, stuff like that. I think like going through Two Happy Buddha, we can kind of like try to do that, not just for ourselves, but for future entrepreneurs that are, you know, trying to get out there and grow their business, do their stuff, basically helping consulting, helping them achieve, you know, kind of like what he said. When we did it, we didn't really have that many people that would tell us, yo man, you shouldn't do it like this or you shouldn't do it like that. We went through it. We know the hardship of that, and we see some of the younger, you know, people, different generation are trying to do it, and sometimes they need a little bit of that guidance. And I'm like, yo man, I wanna, you know, doing the Two Happy Buddha, I wanna be able to just say, yeah, if you guys need some help, here we are, you know, we'll be that voice that you're saying. Take it, you know, we'll tell you guys, but you know, it's up to you on how to, you know, take that word of advice and make it into your own, you know. So that's Two Happy Buddha for me.
I think Two Happy Buddha is exactly what that is. It's the word, you know, we're Two Happy Buddhas, and we're taking our knowledge of everything we have gone through and learned, may that be, you know, consulting for restaurants, may that be cultural awareness, may that be catering, you know, may that be you know, our take on how to fix plumbing. I mean, I'm just kidding, but we're not doing a plumbing branch.
Over here.
But I think it's just our knowledge really has been put in the Two Happy Buddhas, so that whatever service we can provide the hospitality field of that brand, that can be used there. Because under that, we've had under Two Happy Buddhas, one of our knowledge is to open Temple Street Eatery. And then we also had, you know, Homemade, our food truck a little bit into Wharf. So that's the knowledge of a full service, quick service restaurant. And then also if you want to do a, you know, temporary, not open several days a week food truck, and then the knowledge and the skill to go behind that, from everything from how to get your licenses to how to plan your prep.
Yeah. So I mean, basically, it's kind of like, Temple Street is the template of how we open a restaurant, and then with Two Happy Buddhas, we can connect all those future entrepreneurs to say, hey man, you need some legal advice. We went through ours, so these are some of the people, and also it helps grow the community and grow all those other businesses that we have worked on over the year or worked with over the year, and then we lean on each other to just keep growing and hopefully creating a bigger village for all of us to succeed, hopefully. Yeah.
Okay. Not a big question, but everybody's here to hear. What's the future?
It's the future. I don't know. Are we living in the future? Are there flying cars in it? No.
Are you gonna be on Meta? Are we going to 3D space?
This is an AI person, but make me skinnier with a six-pack.
I think that what's in the future, I think that, AI, we're joking about it, AI is definitely in the future somehow with the industry. With us in particular, I think, eventually we're start utilizing a little AI for things. We're still not AI, but, I think that in the future for Temple Street Eatery, I think that, we like to continue to expand, of course, and share and to enlighten your palate. And to
there you go.
Sitting near you.
Bringing it back.
But
We're not letting you go.
we are looking into Cooper City. We do have talks to go. We really can't go any more east. Because but again, could that east mean overseas possibility? Is franchising possibility? I think is just continue to grow the brand. But that brand is Temple Street Eatery. That brand is Two Happy Buddhas. That brand is growing our people internally.
I mean, hey man. I think it's all of those above. If we're looking into growth right now, like I said, it's beyond just me and you. It's about creating that culture that that we want to grow within our brands as Temple Street Eatery, as Two Happy Buddhas, and to inspire hopefully younger generation, the future, to join if they want to, right? And that's the way that I see the expansion for a restaurant. That that we said, it's not just, it takes a village. Obviously you need some people to kind of create the path, create that vision, but the vision and the path, we both know what we want to kind of try to do.
Correct.
And now is to see, is there anybody that wants to join that vision and take it somewhere else, or take it to the
Next
level, man. Yeah. So it's opening it up, man.
I lied about being the last question I have. What is the anniversary, and what is your anniversary party like?
So, all right. So our anniversary party is coming up August 17th. It's going to be a Saturday night. This year we're going to celebrate it with a luau, a Polynesian luau. So it's going to be basically like celebration of life, right? Of 10 years of serving the community, being part of it.
How many pigs are you sacrificing?
No, we're not sacrificing pigs like the Americans now.
Is Maui going to be there?
Moana maybe. Maybe Lilo and Stitch. They'll be there. Maybe, I don't know. But no, man, I think we're gonna do a fun luau streets, basically a night market style with different vendors coming out. Again, it's supporting those local businesses that are trying to grow. So very excited to invite them over to join us and celebrate and talk about the last 10 years of what we have done. And yeah, man, just looking forward to that.
I think it's gonna be a fun night. We're taking over the parking lot block, not a full block party, but look at a lot party, so it's a parking lot party. But we're gonna be, doors are open. You come up to the counter, order food. We're gonna have, like Diego said, plenty of vendors, some other food vendors, and drink vendors, and just all out celebrating. You know, it's full night celebration from 5 to 11.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest one that we're doing, I'm like, hey man, flex a little bit, right? Finally being able to give back to our alma mater, right? To FIU. Like, I feel like the university definitely has played a big impact on our growth as a career. And now to kind of like give back, so I'm like, dang, we're actually doing a scholarship. So getting funds for the scholarship to give back, and hopefully that student will receive it, and then maybe, hey man, join us, join the clan.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we even want to give back because that's again where this entire video started. That's where we met. So for someone to be able to have that opportunity to do that, create their dreams, you know, that's what we'll give back to.
Yeah.
So,
What's the name of the scholarship?
Temple Street Eatery Scholarship.
And for Street Eatery Scholarship.
That will light metallic.